Okay, I'm working on my 2006 Ford 6.0 liter, and I'm just going to be showing you how to put this oil cooler in. I've done some previous videos on the removal and the high pressure pump and stuff. This is just strictly just going to be on doing the gaskets and the oil cooler. Now I've just took and cleaned this out really good. Also, wiped it out, and then I took a vacuum and vacuumed all if there was any lint or anything out of there. So the first thing, we're just going to go ahead and get our new screen in here. So you should have one of those with your kit, and we've got a new oil cooler. And the first thing that I'm going to do is get my seals onto these here, and you'll have a kit, looks something like this. It'll have everything you need in there, and even including O-rings for your oil filter housing and some different stuff like that. So it should have everything you need in this kit. And let's see here. Okay, so we're just going to get started on this so we can get this back on our housing. I said I'm going to get the seals onto this first, and then we'll get our oil cooler housing. Make sure to clean that thing up really good. I'm just going to use a light bit of oil on these as I'm slipping them on. Okay, so all we're doing is just slipping the bigger one onto this bottom, and then the smaller one onto the top here. And we're just going to do the same thing on this side right here. Okay, now we've got this oil cooler housing here. After we've cleaned this up, I'm just going to flip it over like so, and we're going to have a couple of big O-rings, one there, and then we're going to have this smaller one that's going to fit right here. So we're just going to go ahead and get those installed. Okay, and then while we've got this thing flipped over, we're going to go ahead and get this seal on here, and it will stick in here once we get it pressed in. So we're just going to go ahead and push this down in there, and you'll know it's the flatter side that goes down in there. So you've got like the pointed part of it sticking up that actually sits against the block there. That flatter side goes down in there and holds it into place. So we're going to get this seated in here, and then we'll move on to the next step. And like I said, don't forget about your little O-ring that goes right there. Okay, and with this setting like that, we're going to go ahead and take this and we're going to go ahead and flip it over here, and it's going to go just like so. And we have oiled. Just make sure to oil, lube, do something to make sure you get those, because it's going to be a tight fit when we go to putting that in there. So like I said, we're going to just flip it over. We're going to line up these with the holes that they go in here, and then we're going to go ahead and push these firmly down into here. And if you need to set it on something, you can. Just whatever you need to do to set it up a little bit. Okay, and it's going to take a good bit of force to get it pushed through there, and you'll know when it gets up here flush. And now we can go ahead and get our 13 millimeters onto here, and that will finish pulling it any of the rest of the way there. Now we're also going to have a piece that's going to go over this. We'll get to that. Okay, so we're just tightening these two here now a little bit, and then we're going to get on the other side, and we've got a couple of 13 millimeter bolts that are going to go in the back side. Okay, so here's our two bolts. They're going right back here. Okay, on these 13 millimeters, we just went 16 foot-pounds on those. And the same for these nuts. Okay, so now we're going to be getting this gasket on our other part of our housing here. We just got a couple of pieces here on this part. And once we get those set into place, we will go ahead and get this set on. Make sure those are down. Go ahead and get this set into place here. Okay, we're just getting ready to set our bolts in here, and I'm just going to get these smaller ones in first and put them around all the locations here. Okay, and as I was thinking about it, doing these little bolts, we got to slide this piece back on here. And this is going to be a really snug fit, so okay, and there we have that. I had it upside down there to start with. Okay, then we're going to place this cap on, and once we have that on, we'll put these last two smaller ones into that right there. Okay, and also place this gasket that goes onto that before you place that on there. Okay, so we have the smaller ones into their location, and I'm just going to go through here and place the bigger ones where they go now. Okay, and here they are into place, and we're going to start with the bigger ones. We're going to go ahead and go 16 foot-pounds on the bigger Torx bits. Okay, so we've got our big bolts, and now we're just going to go through here and tighten all of our small ones, and we're going to go 89 inch-pounds on those there. Okay, so we've got those torqued, said 16 foot-pounds on these, and that one, the bigger one, and then the smaller ones, we go 89 inch on those. I made sure seals are in here and here. Okay, so we're just getting ready to set this entire oil filter housing. We've got all of our seals and everything torqued down and into place. Now, I just note that for whatever reason, this new seal that's supposed to seal the oil filter housing is not the right size, so can't use that. The one on here doesn't look too bad, and this one I didn't get a replacement for this, but it looks okay as well. So we're just going to go ahead and get it set on here now. So I already had my screen in there. We'd already cleaned that out really well. I'd also took the pump off. Back here I was putting seals, new seals in here. You don't necessarily have to do that if yours didn't need messed with, but I blowed air from back here, blowed all the stuff out and make sure this passageway is clean. So you got a seal right back there, and you got one here that needs to be replaced with that high pressure pump. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these bolts in here. We're going to be torquing these down to 16 foot-pounds as well. Okay, and I'm just starting in the middle, 16 foot-pounds. I'm going to work from side to side and just kind of crisscross until we get all these torqued to 16 foot-pounds. Okay, and with that, we're all finished up with the seals in the oil cooler and the oil cooler housing. And like I said, hopefully that's been helpful. And the only thing left is just getting some of the components up here on the oil filter housing part and stuff. So anyways, thank y'all for watching.